Hey everybody, it's Paul and Steven from Human Landmines, and we just wanted to give you guys a heads up. We haven't done the intro to the show yet because we wanted to tell you that the last 16 episodes, whether they aired or got lost in the internet abyss, um, those were a good run, and we're gonna call that season one.
Yeah,
And
it's the goddamn internet, and so we can have seasons if we want to. And we're better than your favorite TV show because Mad Men goes off for like 11 months between seasons, and we only took 1 week off.
yeah, and so what the difference is going to be between season one and season two is that we're going to try some different show formats. We're going to get a little experimental with stuff. We're also going to have more guests on. We're going to have some themed episodes, and we're just going to try to make it a little bit more entertaining for everybody.
We're gonna mix in bestiality, heroin,
Ritualistic
uh,
suicide.
witchcraft, uh, devil worship, and satanic rituals.
And more about Tinder.
Yeah, twice the Tinder.
Now, Steven, can you tell everybody how many views we got in season one?
836 at last count, and which came out, Paul. I did a little arithmetic, which came out to almost exactly 60 views an episode. So we're really right on the mediocre level that we strive for.
Yeah, that's a pretty good Dunbar group.
Yeah.
So if you watch the show, you have a spot in our Dunbar group, in our Apocalypse Cave.
Yeah, you guys are welcome to come with us because you already know that we're into weird porn and psychedelic drugs.
Yeah, and amongst, like, we got a lot of other good skills, but those are the two best skills. And then, so out of the 148 available slots in our Dunbar group, 60 of them have been taken up by you, the viewers, and the other two are left for Kesha and Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, so we're all set.
Yeah.
We're all set to kick off season 2, everyone.
Yeah.
Which
So-
will come in a few seconds after this video. This portion is over.
Hey, thanks for watching Human Landmine Season 1, and we hope you look forward to Season 2 as much as we do. Cheers,
Cheers, bitches.
bitches. You are listening to 60 people in America's favorite daytime talk show. Still chugging, still talking shit, still about to explode on Season 2 of Human Landmine. Hey everyone, welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of Human Landmines.
Sweet Jesus, we're wearing fancy clothes now.
Yeah.
We transformed.
Now, we had a fashion designer and owner of Caborchas Clothing, Julie Wheat, on one of our prior episodes last season, and she tried to teach us about fashion, but, we're really dumb.
Really dumb.
So we did not learn very much about fashion, but we do know that this is fucking awesome.
What we have here, what you're going to see on your screen now, is it appears to be one of the Kardashians and maybe her date, and then you're going to see.
I think Kanye and Kim Kardashian got married at this
Right?
wedding.
Yeah, they did, but that's not the one that's in this picture. It's
Oh,
Courtney,
okay.
Courtney, I think, and whoever she's with. And then you're gonna see a
Some
child in the background wearing a white Batman suit, which is what he wore to
Now-
the wedding.
Now, this child is none other than Will Smith's son, Jaden Smith, and the Karate Kid remake himself. And I guess he thought that it was more appropriate to wear a white-colored Batman suit to a wedding as opposed to like the traditional black Batman suit because it's a wedding and
Oh.
everybody's kind of like. Well, yeah, I mean that's what. Now, like I said, I don't know fashion, but I think that what was probably going through his mind is like, well, if I wear a white Batman suit, nobody's gonna think this is weird because it's a wedding and everybody's wearing white.
I think he like. How old do we think he is?
Google this.
I'll look it up. How old is Jaden Smith? He's 15. All right, he's 15. So
He's not a
No.
kid. It's not like a 9-year-old
no,
wore a
so
Batman
here's my
suit.
excuse for it then. I think
Okay.
you're right. He's not wearing it like a child. I think he's trying to get into like the weird Kanye headspace. Like how Kanye will wear ridiculous shit. He's like, oh, I'm like gonna be cool. Kanye West is gonna think I'm cool if I wear a white Batman suit, and he's probably right.
Well, yeah, he's totally probably right. Like everybody's like, what the fuck did Will Smith let his kid wear? And Kanye's like, nah, y'all, nah, chill. That dude's got it. I mean, it's like how I imagine like Kanye's like walking around literally like threatening the guests of his wedding's lives, being like, if I hear one person talk shit about my dude Jaden's Batman suit,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna fucking kill your ass.
Yeah. God damn, that's ridiculous. However,
I wish Jaden Smith wore a white Batman suit in all of his movies, regardless of the role.
yeah, he needs to just be like that recurring character, like how some actors always play the same guy, like Vince Vaughn. Jaden Smith should
Yeah.
always be white Batman. There was positive news though recently, Paul.
Oh, what's that?
So I go to this website called Singularity Hub. Everyone should go there. The singularity is the idea that like we're all on our way to becoming androids and cyborgs, and we're gonna have this super great moment where we mesh with the universe and shoot off into infinity. Anyways, this website logs our progress. Boomer hates that idea.
Boomer hates it.
Boomer doesn't want to hear any of this bullshit.
Hey, come here.
Pseudoscience.
He hates pseudoscience.
All right, but this is real shit. Okay, so there's a group of doctors, University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, announced that they did it with fucking pigs first. So pigs that are mortally wounded. And I don't know how they got pigs that were mortally wounded. I hope they didn't just like stab pigs in the heart and see what would happen.
I heard that's what the military does to practice like stitches
Really?
and all that stuff.
Oh, maybe that's cool.
Now you're talking to a dude who doesn't know shit about shit, so that could totally be a old wives'
It might be
tale.
true. I also heard that the population of pigs is like really too high. So maybe they do just fucking do that. Anyway,
Yeah, maybe like, yeah, let's kill two birds with one stone and figure out how to unlock suspended animation and kill some. And if we lose a couple pigs, we're helping the world out.
Exactly. So what they did, they had injured pigs, like mortally injured almost, like somebody bleeding out, and then they removed all of their blood, replaced it with cold saline, which is like really cold and puts you into hypothermia, which slows all your bodily functions down, like your heart beats a couple times a minute.
Do they freeze it?
No,
Do they freeze the body?
It's just like really slowed down. So like everything is in slow motion in the pig's body, and they realized that this will make a organism not bleed out. So instead of having like, oh fuck, emergency room, like you have 2 minutes to like patch them up, they had 2 hours to fix like something that could have been mortal. And so the big deal is they got the okay to try this on people.
Did it work?
I don't know. I guess. Oh no, they just got the okay at the end of March 2014. Like, if somebody comes in with a gunshot wound in Pittsburgh, so yeah, it's probably happened. They're allowed to try this on them.
Cool.
Like the patient doesn't have to say okay.
Pittsburgh's kind of a shithole, so it's probably like a good place to get the okay at, because the gunshot wound's pretty high.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. You can only do it for 2 hours, because otherwise you'll die of hypothermia. So.
Well, eventually one of the Steelers players is probably going to shoot somebody. So.
Wouldn't that be an awesome story if it was like Ben Roethlisberger was shot in the head, but got suspended animated surgery, and now he's superhuman?
Yeah. We saved the rapist. Everybody rejoice.
But the cool idea, man, is that maybe they can do it for more than 2 hours in the future. Like, what if that's the beginning? And like, but then they get it up to a fucking day, and then they get up to years, and then people get to the point where they're like, well shit, I'm 80, but they have the ability to freeze people for like 20 years, so just freeze me in case they come up with a cure for old age while like in the next 20 years. Like,
yeah, I mean,
that doesn't seem crazy.
You might as well. I've heard like a lot of people say like, when I turn 80, man, I'm just gonna start doing every drug in the world. I'm gonna do crack, I'm gonna do heroin, because I'll be 80 and it doesn't matter. What you just said sounds like a lot more productive.
Like,
Like, I'm gonna freeze my body to see if one day I could have a longer, more enjoyable life, as opposed to like, I want to get the dirtiest, weirdest drugs on the planet and do them until I run myself into the
you know what
ground.
the problem is, though? It's
What's
probably
that?
going to be more expensive to freeze your body for 20 years than it is to buy like 17 AIDS-riddled crack whores and a bunch of heroin.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, you know what? Different strokes for different
And
folks, I guess we say here, human
there's
landmines.
no guarantee they even come up with anything. So maybe the guy who's injecting crack into his face has it right.
And yeah, what if like you're like, I'm gonna freeze myself for the maximum of 20 years? What if like shit goes really awry in the next 20 years? And you wake up as like a feeble 80-year-old man with no cure for old age, but you're in like, it's like old people have become like sex slaves to the rest of the population. So you freeze yourself only to wake up into like a tried and true rape society.
Like you come to,
Or
all of
you're-
a sudden you're like, it's been 20 years. You're basically 100 now, but you look 80. And there's like a 400-pound guy fucking you in the ass.
Yeah. You're in Butthole Town and you are not the mayor.
Yeah, because a lot of shit can happen a lot of shit can happen in 20 years. Like some
Yeah.
bad forces might overtake the freezatorium.
Yeah, I know. What if I'm just saying like I'd rather just like see the end of my days like no matter how it comes, I'm ready to face it cuz I don't really want to freeze myself and wake up into something worse than is already going on.
What would you
That would be the ultimate disappointment.
What would you do
What were you
if so a situation like that but you're young? Like if a doctor says you got 1 year to live, what would you do? A year.
Yeah. And I was like 25 and there's like, listen, you got
Yeah.
1 year to live or we could freeze you and see if we can you know like basically you're saying medical technology is advancing at a rapid pace. We could freeze you for a while and hopefully we could find a cure for what's wrong.
Right. Like a max, but still
Yeah.
max 20 years.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna freeze myself just because I'm like hoping that they find the fountain of youth.
Right. So would you
in a
just like
septic
party for a
tank.
year?
No, I'd freeze myself in that scenario,
Okay.
but that's totally different scenario. Like, I don't want to be like an 80-year-old man going into the body freezer, hoping that they find the fountain of youth under an Irish home for unwed mothers in a septic tank.
Paul is referring to another story that we were hoping to not talk about, but we
Yeah.
have to now. A fucking 800
and-
babies were found in a septic tank from the 1920s in Ireland. What is a home? Is a home
Yeah.
for unwed mothers just like widows, Paul? I don't know
No,
what
I
that is.
think maybe, or like people whose husbands left them,
Okay.
like deserted them and stuff. So that's like a really tough place to grow up in anyway. But it's one of those like, well, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you do it too?
Right.
It's like, if the other unwed mothers threw their babies in the septic tank, would you do it too? And like, 800 people said yeah.
I mean, I guess I should have read the story more closely, but are we assuming it's like, so they're pregnant when they get there? Their husband left them, they're pregnant, they get there, they had the kid, and they're just like, fuck it, I can't do this, and they kill it? Or are they throwing like 4-year-olds in there?
I hope it's not 4-year-olds.
Shit, Paul.
I can. Well, you know what? This kind of stuff happens in the world, and just because you might not like hearing about it doesn't mean it's not real.
True.
Okay? And so I'm not going to make excuses for these people, but I'm still going to talk about it because honestly, this shit happens. And if you don't want to acknowledge it, then you're going to be the 80-year-old guy freezing your body hoping that they find the fountain of youth in a septic
It goes
tank.
back to one of the things.
No, they were babies.
Okay.
They were
Well,
babies.
that's not so bad. I mean, it's bad, but
Nope.
but it's not like they like got there with their 3-year-old kid and were like, I can't take care of this kid anymore.
No, I guess okay. So I guess like it's not like they murdered them. Many babies, many of them died from neglect, malnutrition, or complications from illnesses like pneumonia, measles, tuberculosis, and gastroenteritis.
Well, that third one, it seems like it's okay. Like they just didn't have anywhere to bury him. Like this is a sick kid.
Yeah, the bones are still there. Corliss told the Washington Post in a phone interview, the children who died in the home, this was them. So I guess, like, they were basically taking the graveyard into their own hands by flushing them down the toilet, which seems, like, fucked up.
What are you gonna do?
I mean, you know, there's characters in Game of Thrones who demand, like, that they're like, I don't care that you killed my family, but you have him strung up like a dog outside of the city. You need to take him down and give him a proper burial.
What do you think about that?
Throwing somebody in a crapper tank is like a real Joe Dirt way to bury somebody.
It is. It definitely is. This also goes back to something I like to talk about on this show.
What's that, Steven?
That the world is getting better and better despite all the news and people that are like, oh, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. No, you can't get away with throwing 800 babies in a septic tank now, casually.
Yeah, unless you live in Cleveland, then you can have 3 women captive as sex slaves in your basement for 10 years and nobody gives a shit.
I see, that's better than 800.
Yeah, and like a dude found him, like a dude who was just barbecuing and was like, wait, I think I hear women screaming. I'm gonna go check it out because this is my neighborhood and like this is my community.
Yeah, that dude was awesome. And, I remember that story.
Yeah, well, Cleveland's a weird place.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a very sad place.
If those women, you know, were severely mortally wounded, they could just, you know, drive them 2 hours over to Pittsburgh and freeze their ass.
Absolutely. I think Cleveland and a lot of Ohio, Paul, you coming from there, I think it's worse. I think parts of this country are so much fucking worse than third world countries, man. Detroit, lots of like abandoned industrial towns in Ohio.
Yeah, the Rust Belt's really bad. Yeah. There's like parts of Brooklyn that I had to walk through to like commute to places that, like, people would follow me for 3 blocks, and I'd be like, "Yo, what's up?" And they're like, "Give me a cigarette."
Oh man, yeah.
And I'm like, "I don't have any." They're like, "Well, what about that tiny one in your hand that's almost gone? Can I have that?"
Jesus.
And I'm like, "No." It costs $15 a pack. I'd rather give you $1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hey, I think that the world is becoming a better place, whether we like it or not, and it's just easier to tell people about bad stuff on the internet.
Exactly. We're all about good stuff here on Human Landmines.
Yeah, and speaking of good stuff, we'd like to bring in our guest for the show. She's a wonderful musician. She's done some national touring and collaborations with very big artists, and she owns her own art gallery on King Street in downtown Charleston called King Dusko. We're going to bring to you now our week's guest, McKenzie Eddy.
This week's guest, McKenzie Eddy.
As promised, we are back and we are here with our guest.
This is McKenzie Eddy.
What's up?
She started and ran a record label in New York City for a while. And she wanted to leave New York, so she moved back to Charleston, and now she owns an art gallery music venue called King Dusko on King Street, right in the heart of downtown. And she recorded a folk album with, who's the artist?
Angie Aparo.
Angie Aparo. And they, you guys played a really big show, and I watched a video of it in Nashville.
Yeah, it was
with like
awesome.
A huge big band. What festival was that at?
It wasn't a festival. It was a live music showcase called Nashville Music City Roots, and it was awesome. All
Cool.
these old school country artists, which is totally different, you know, than I'm used to.
It was a duet thing with you and this other artist?
Yeah, we wrote. We've written about 6 songs already for the project, but it's a 12-piece band. It's a 4-piece core band, and then a 4-piece string section and 2 horns.
Does she live in Charleston or Nashville?
He's a dude.
Oh,
he's got a big beard.
Oh, cool.
He's sad.
Yeah, reinventing the name Angie.
Is he local, or are you long distance?
No, he's Atlanta and Hilton Head, and that's how I met him. I grew up on Hilton Head.
Nice.
But he's awesome. He wrote Faith Hill's song "Cry" back in the day.
So he's getting those checks.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Nice. Is that weird being in a musical group with somebody who doesn't live in the town with you, or do you guys have a good system?
I think it's actually like more functional than any other type of musical situation I've tried to collaborate on. Because
Nice.
it's like when we're together and we focus, and when we're not, we still focus because we send each other emails and call each other and stuff. So it works.
Cool.
I bet it's a lot like doing a podcast with somebody who doesn't live in the same city as you.
It works, right?
Good point, Paul.
Yeah, you can rely on me for those.
Hey, I have an important question. What's it
yeah.
like to have Paul as an employee?
Oh, Paul is amazing.
Oh,
Paul
yeah?
can make the shit out of a latte.
Yeah, I could latte the shit out of your ass.
Wait, he can make a shit out of a latte?
That's exactly what he does.
I think that eventually everybody makes shit out of lattes. If we're talking about in the existential sense, everybody's shitting out their lattes at some point.
That's true.
You know?
It actually really sucks that we have a really tiny bathroom. It's like everybody was like, "You didn't think this through, having a coffee shop with a tiny ass bathroom upstairs.
Is it a
This
single?
is not intelligent."
It's a single bathroom. It's a unisex.
And you sell liquor and beer there, or wine and beer?
Just beer and wine.
Yeah.
Beer and wine.
No liquor.
How many
No
people can
liquor.
fit in there? How big is it?
The inside's like 1,000 square feet, but then we have a big backyard that's like another 1,000.
That's
square
not enough
feet.
bathrooms, Mackenzie.
Yeah, I'm totally aware. Shh.
Yeah, Steven, quit trying to.
I'm gonna call
Can
the
you shut
Charleston
down?
Fire Code. Or
That's the next thing on my list. Bathrooms are intense and intricate.
Do
Well,
people piss in the backyard?
No.
Well, some of our newly planted plants are already dying, so I'm pretty sure that's probably the cause.
But on their big outdoor events, Mackenzie's good friend, Jamie Lynn Snyder, who owns Jalen Snyder, the clothing shop right next door to Dusko, they have like a back bathroom. And
Oh.
so they open the door to the back of her store and just allow access into the bathroom because it's like right through the door, the backyard. So
We try to keep it a little bit classy.
yeah, we try to keep it a little bit classy.
Listen, I don't know why the bathroom part is fascinating to me, but just it is. I'm sorry.
Well, how many bathrooms do you have at the rock shop, Steve?
We have plenty.
You probably have one of those trough urinals where like a bunch of dudes sit butt cheek to butt cheek and pee with each other.
Paul, you're not supposed to sit on those.
No, they stand. Oh, you're not? Hey, one time, I'm going to say this because I'm sure some of the people who watch the show are Gamecock fans, and I am just notoriously not a fan of team sports in general, so there's nothing against the Gamecocks, but I have pooped in a urinal at the Gamecocks stadium.
I don't
That's a
know
great
if
accomplishment.
I went to school there, so it's likely.
Did you ever poop in a urinal?
I don't know if I've ever pooped in a urinal, man.
Oh. The thing is that there were plenty of open toilets, and I just wanted to be a troublemaker.
You peed in a urinal, though, Mackenzie?
No, that'd be hard.
Yeah,
Oh, I've seen girls do it.
I don't know, I've peed in one of those like holes in Thailand.
yeah. I don't know what kind of girls they got in New York, but in Charleston, our girls don't pee standing up.
Special breed. I think this is related. I think this is okay for me to say if I don't declare who the other person was. Whatever. There's no secrets on human landmines. I've had sex on the 50-yard line of the FSU stadium on the Seminole Head.
That's awesome.
Really?
They leave it open. Here, anyone in Tallahassee, Florida, they leave one door open to the stadium at all times so that like kids can run stadiums. Like if they want to work out at like 4 a.m., like you're like welcome to just go in anytime. So it's
And you're the scumbag while the athletes are running stadiums. You're porking some girl on the 50-yard line.
Paul, it was magical. You could pretend. I was imagining that there were 80,000 screaming fans, and the only way to do it in that setting is doggy style. So you're having a good time, and then at the end, I pretended like after we were done, I ran and pretended I was scoring a touchdown on the way out. It was like all my boyhood dreams coming true at once.
What time of day was it?
This was probably not late enough.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like midnight. Like
I
not,
thought you were going to say it was on my lunch break.
Because middle of the day would have been some badass shit.
It
That
would've.
would've been, you know,
I mean, there's no telling. Maybe someone saw us, but they didn't stop
under the
us.
stars. It was romantic. I get
Absolutely, it was magical.
Well, there's a lot of things that aren't magical, and that's one of the magical things.
Like having sex on a urinal. That's what I thought you were gonna.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna be like, I had sex in the FSU urinal.
I was like, oh, that's not alright.
So I've been hearing some terms around town that I didn't know, and these are like definitely Charleston centric terms. This first one is at least, but I think that Human Landmines is the kind of show that we can talk about these terms and kind of maybe get them into broader use in the general public.
Okay.
Now I heard. Do you know what a jerp is?
No.
JIRP.
No. What is that?
It's a derogatory term used to describe slutty girls who live in James Island, which is the primary suburb of Charleston to the south of the Ashley River. And JIRP stands for James Island Redneck Pussy. It is, yeah. But I've heard people be like, "We're going to get some jerps tonight," and after a while, I'm like, "What the fuck is a jerp?"
What does a jerp look like? Do they have like a specific vibe about them?
They have a waffle belly, and let me tell you what waffle belly means.
Oh, Jesus.
So, I heard the term waffle belly the other day, and it made me laugh out loud because of how completely obscure it is, but it's the term that describes a woman of hillbilly, she has hillbilly tendencies. They call her, and she's obviously promiscuous. She's a lady of promiscuity, is the nicest fucking way I could say this. The term waffle belly comes from imagining her grab the top of a chain link fence while she's getting sexed with, and the chain link fence presses into her belly while she's getting banged and makes a waffle pattern.
Indentions.
Yeah.
That's a very specific word.
Creative.
Yeah. Oh, you got yourself a waffle belly there, Sam. You better strap it up when you get home. I don't know.
Are there so many people having sex against chain link fences
in the South?
Deep South?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've never had sex against a chain link fence.
No.
That's never happened to me.
I want to get a waffle belly.
Right.
How do I get one? Is there a dude way to get one? I can't think of one, but
you have to fuck a chick through the chain link fence.
Yeah.
Oh yeah!
Dual, and then you can like compare patterns.
Yeah. You're like, look, man, we banged. My waffle belly matches her waffle butt cheeks.
Yeah. That's kind of beautiful. And then you guys go to the tattoo parlor and get them permanent to commemorate your time at the farm.
Oh, man. Okay, sorry. I don't know if that was, like, appropriate or not, but...
No, those are great terms.
I just don't... I mean, I would feel so bad, because, like, James Island is a really, like, expansive, beautiful part of the country. But there are some, like, places where the lawns aren't well manicured, and they're kind of overgrown, and these houses haven't been, like, upkept. But there's...
Right.
I'd like to live in those houses, like, out by the marsh and shit.
Hell yeah.
But... apparently, the jerps are out there, which might be like a selling point to a lot of people to move there.
It's such a specific word. I'm so impressed.
Jerp.
Well, but, in Charleston, you either live downtown or in Mount Pleasant, West Ashley, or James Island. Like, you don't have a lot of people commuting from Somerville or Goose Creek or a lot of the further out places to come downtown, except like once, maybe every couple months.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of James Island people downtown. And there's there's a lot of sluts, male and female, in Charleston.
You're just making me totally rethink my decision to want to move to James Island.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. You don't want people being like, damn, that girl at the gas pump's a jerk.
Damn it. Do they still do this thing? The J-I? Like it's a J and an I?
I don't know.
I've never seen that.
When I was in high school, that's how we made fun of them. Because they would actually do that. J-I, James Island.
So this has been existing for years now.
Oh, yeah.
This view.
It's
we were
terrible.
apparently the rich kids. I don't know where they got that one from, but then they were like the rednecks. Which I think we're all rednecks if we live in the Carolinas.
We are from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't fix that just by living a few miles.
We swatted gnat away.
Yeah, we're swatting gnats away on the show.
This is real life, folks.
Creepy down here.
Hey, Paul, while we were taking our little break and getting McKenzie all set up, I found another very interesting article.
What's it say, Steven?
It's I should look at who posted it. I don't know. It's probably, let's say Jay Jeffers posted it. It basically says that there's been a couple scientific studies that prove that marijuana actually makes you a better musician, which is obviously not enough studies to make it a fact, but is interesting. They have what's in there basically. There's a couple things that it does. It lowers your inhibitions, like so you're willing to try more shit, makes you more creative. That's probably drinking too, lowering your inhibitions. But the more important, interesting thing I thought was it helps you make connections between part of your brain that don't usually connect. So you can like put two things together that you wouldn't otherwise connect, which is like the scientific definition of creativity anyways. So basically, smoking weed actually makes you a better musician. Maybe.
Because that obviously doesn't happen with alcohol. Alcohol just makes everything separated.
Yeah. Maybe like 1 or 2 drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 1 or 2 drinks is good. Me and Steven have talked about this with a few of our guests about like, what do you like to do substance-wise? Like, do you like to be drunk? Do you like to smoke weed? What do you like that you find makes you a better musician, or like helps you with your creative process? And like, we've talked about maybe like a couple drinks, but not a lot, because too many drinks you just start saying dumb stuff, or like, I don't know. There's a lot of people out there who like just smoke weed out of their mind, and they play the same noodly guitar solo, and they've been growing the same beard for 20 years, and like they're not good, but they've been around long enough to get gigs.
So what's yours, Mackenzie? Do you use any aids?
Occasionally, yeah. I like to smoke a little bit and drink a little bit before I play. But I think I like to smoke a little bit and drink a little bit all the time.
Right.
So.
Would you say for writing also, or just for performing?
Nah, man. I like to write totally sober.
That's what I said.
Yeah. That's what I said too.
And Paul, to go to your point, the article actually ends with a Bob Marley quote that says, "Too much of one thing, good for nothing. If you have too much herb, it might hurt you." So that's to all the noodling guitar solos out there.
And I've told you, like, I said this before, like, some people shouldn't do drugs, and like some people are totally fine doing drugs, but drugs aren't good for everybody, and there are bad drugs. There are like buzz drugs, like buzzwords, like bad drugs.
Oh, of course. And you have to make sure that you're not doing a quote good drug that's actually a bad drug. You know, there's a lot of scary stuff out there.
Yeah, like people are lacing like really. I mean, even it's like at a bar, and you're having a drink, and you set it down like, and somebody slips something in your drink like GHB. That's a bad drug.
What's GHB, Paul? I really don't know.
You can look it up. It's just like an extreme. Basically, the effects, as far as I understand, are like an extreme. An extreme alcohol effect, like an instant drunk off a very small amount.
Have we talked about it before, Paul?
No, but
it's showing that I Googled it before, and it's like I clicked on the Wikipedia link. That's funny.
We might have talked about it before. Steven, do you remember when we worked at the Beach Biz?
Hell yeah.
Me and Steven worked at this place when we were like under legal age to work.
We were like 15. I was 15 for sure.
Yeah. 14, 15 years old, like scooping ice cream and flipping burgers and stuff at the shack on the Isle of Palms.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Chuck was there. You remember Chuck?
Yeah. We had an employee named Chuck who was like 28. He seemed so old when we were there. That's like how old we are now.
Yeah. But he's like, man, I like those girls because they're exotic.
Yeah.
Oh, man, those girls are so exotic.
He taught us a lot of shit.
Then he had to quit because he like knocked some girl up and didn't want to have the baby, and he just skipped town.
He
But
just left.
the manager before the year you worked there, because I was there like a year before, the summer before, it was this lady, and she was addicted to GHB. Like, I guess alcohol wasn't doing it for her anymore, and she just wanted to get like, she didn't want to have drinks and sit on her porch and like relax and tell stories with friends. She wanted to be instantly as drunk as possible, like as fast as she could. And you could tell, like, she'd be like, hey, I'm going home for the day. And you're like, well, you're on the schedule till 7. You're supposed to manage until the store closes. And she's like, yeah, well, it's 7 o'clock somewhere. And she just rolled out, and like, eventually she got fired and replaced with Chuck the deserter.
Do you think that she just like went home and noodled on her guitar all night?
Maybe. I mean,
Good question.
That's a great question.
Is it a
Maybe
date
maybe
rapey
that was
thing,
her
Paul?
thing, man. The
I-
date rape drug to
I-
artistry.
I assume it could be a date rape drug.
Okay.
The path. Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah?
yeah.
But it's
You
weird.
heard of this
Okay, like
before, Mackenzie?
I guess I say I assume it could be one because like it weirds me out that somebody would like do that to themselves over and over again.
Right.
It just like how it weirds me out. I've heard about like frat parties where they all roofie each other as like the gimmick of the party.
That's
Yeah.
insane. Just
And then,
nobody
like, the-
remembers anything.
Yeah, but they have like they bring dates and they don't roofie the girls, but all the dudes are roofied. I'm like, that sounds like a fucking disaster.
That's horrible.
Have you ever been out with like 10 of your friends and you're the most sober one and they're causing trouble?
Oh my
Yeah.
god. None of them are getting laid.
Yeah, no.
Maybe none of them are getting laid anyway.
They probably, yeah.
They're like, we just don't want to remember that none of us get laid.
There's probably a lot of weird homoeroticism going on with those guys.
There's one time I was in a porn store. It was like a ceremony. We always would take our friends who turned 18. We were in high school and college. Once they turned 18, we'd take them to the porn store.
Mhm.
And like we'd make them, we'd take them there and be like, buy your first porn.
Right.
And it was so expensive too. It was like $25 for a movie, and they were in these huge boxes for VHS tape. And you're like, God damn, porn industry's killing it right now.
Yeah, they got
Those were the
screwed
days.
by the internet.
Yeah, but we kind of like learned the etiquette of being in a porn shop. You didn't laugh.
Really?
You don't laugh. You can laugh. Like you can be like, holy shit, look at that. But you don't want to like pick up a product and have like a bunch of porn store regulars in the store and hear you making fun of their fetish.
The rubber vagina
Yeah.
or
'Cause
whatever.
those dudes belong there way more than you do if they're there all the time. They deserve to be
Right.
there. Like.
You cannot offend.
And so there's like 3 frat kids were up against the dildo wall, laughing their asses off, and we're all just kind of like, "All right, buddy, you're 18. What kind of movie do you want to get?" And they're like, "Let's go to the big boobs section." And we're going to the big boobs section, we're see these 3 guys laughing at the dildo wall, and, like holding dildos up to each other to see which ones are bigger. And 3 guys doing this in a porn store is just like kind of funny anyway. But so we're like they're walking up to the counter and we're kind of like right behind them in line for our newly 18-year-old porn legal buddy to buy his video. And they go and the cashier was this really helpful gay dude that Creighton got to know really well because he went to the porn store so much. So he like knew him by name and he like got beers with him before. And
That's a real problem. If you know the porn store guy or the guy at the liquor store or your drug dealer well enough that you hang out with them like a lot of other settings, it's a real problem.
well, no, I don't think so. That's all subjective. But
Why do you hang out with your liquor store guy, Paul?
no, I don't hang out with my liquor store guy.
Oh, your
but,
drug dealer.
But I hang out with the guy whose family owns Carolina Summer Hummer as of this week.
Well, I've never
Nice.
seen that in my life.
It's great. It's from
It's
Charleston.
delicious.
Yeah, it's lemon lime juniper vodka with all natural flavors, no added sugar.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. Makes us crave with Sprite.
Yeah, it's delicious.
There's his coffee.
Mhm.
But so these 3 frat guys walk up to the counter, and you got to think about this dude has probably sold like thousands of dildos in his time behind the counter at the porn store.
Yeah.
And they walk up with their dildo and they set it on the counter, and they're all giggling.
Yeah.
And the one guy's like, "Yo, man, we're just gonna slap people with it.
At our GHB party.
It's
later.
it's for a frat party. We're just gonna slap people with it." And the dude at the counter of the corner store is like, "That's what they all say."
Nice.
He just rings them up, and like that's how you got to deal with that sort of situation.
is.
Because
I'm sure he's seen crazier though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
but-
everyone's as respectful as you. Maybe they were jerks, even though they were guys.
James Island redneck penis.
Yeah, it still works. You
Oh,
don't have to
it
change
still
the fucking thing.
works. Yes.
Nice. Very nice. Mackenzie, have you been to porn stores before?
Not a lot. When I was like 19, there was a porn store next to a strip club, and I'd never been to a strip club. And so it was me and a whole bunch of chicks, and we were like it was like 3 in the afternoon. We were supposed to go to the movies. I went to school in Columbia.
Yeah.
And so we were like, let's just go to the strip club before this movie starts. And we tried to get in, and they wouldn't let us in because it was all women. And I guess women sometimes
Really?
come there and try to find their husbands or whatever. So they're like, you have to find a male escort. So we went across to the porn store and found a man, and the man escorted us in. And then it was like totally boring. Like, I don't know. I just haven't gone to the right strip clubs. The strip shops are... Now you can just go to YouPorn.
Yeah. Can I just say, though, that if you're a guy, a lonely guy in a porn store, your dream is some girl walking in and being like, hey, we really need some guys to go to the strip club with us.
I know. I hadn't really thought about how amazing that moment must have been for him, but
Yeah.
it was
amazing.
pretty awesome.
You switched that guy's day around.
I know.
He was like, well, I guess I'm going to fucking buy another $25 Asian big-ass DVD.
We're like, dude, will you please just come walk us in? They won't let us in. And they're like, ladies, we know what you're doing. And we're like, we're just really wanting to see what this strip club is.
That guy's like, I'm about to make my own porn.
Yeah, he probably thought you guys were down for a lot more.
Yeah.
So there's other memorable time I was in a porn store was that my buddy Tyler really wanted to dress up as a glory hole for Halloween, and so he wanted to wear a business suit, and he had this like piece of plywood hung around his neck with a hole cut in it and said glory hole above it, and he wanted a photorealistic dildo to stick through the glory hole.
Yeah.
And so we went to a few of the more, low rent porn stores around town, and they just had like fake looking dildos or vibrators or just very regular looking, not photorealistic, not veins in the penis sort of dildos.
Yeah.
And we finally went to this one, and we three guys walk in, and we go up to the girl at the counter, and we're like, listen, my buddy wants to be a glory hole for Halloween. She's like, that's awesome. And I'm like, but we went to 2 other porn stores and we can't find like a dildo that looks like a real penis. And she's like, because all their dildos were behind the counter. And she's like, well, let me show you what we got. And she like totally understood, even though we're not going there to like use the dildo on each other, she was totally down to assist because we were like straight up and courteous and came in and we were up front with her. And she helped Tyler find one. And how that story ended was he's a bouncer at a bar in the glory hole costume, and he got drunk while he was bouncing at the bar, and he just started dipping his fake dick into everybody's drinks, and some guy got mad and ripped the dick off of the costume.
That'll happen. That'll happen.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine at that point.
We've been to every porn store in town. All we want is a real-looking dildo. Help us out, baby.
He's dedicated. Go in multiple spots.
Yeah, but they're all like in the same outskirts.
Yeah.
of the city.
They're all... Hey, should we have McKenzie perform a number for us?
McKenzie?
Yeah, on the glory hole dildo note.
Yeah, not a porn number, everyone.
No, she's actually McKenzie told me what the song she's gonna play us is about, and I'd like her to tell us about that.
Okay, McKenzie.
Right when I first moved back here, a friend of mine showed me a script that he'd written about a rickshaw driver, but it was a much larger story than just about a rickshaw driver.
Both.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no, it's there.
5685.
There you go.
And it made me. Is that good?
Yeah,
it made me
great.
pretty
It's great.
emotional.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Will you write a song for the end of it?" And it's a song kind of about loss and self-discovery. And so I wrote the song about it, and it's like the first song I wrote when I moved to Charleston, so I felt like it was relevant.
Awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is McKenzie Eddy with her song.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now have McKenzie Eddy performing Cobblestones live on Human Landmines.
Cobblestones and pirates' bones. face again. Happy in its moment, staying, and I will never be the same. The day that I first saw you, I sang you like a song I knew. Lying naked next to truth, I am blinded by the light, and you know, no, I'm not alone. No, I'm not alone. No, I'm not alone. You can go home. I missed you, I lost control. I built you up, I'll let you go. There are things I'll never know that I think you might. Beauty in the winter's born through briar thorns and winding roads. And if a person could be a home, I'll leave all my life for I'm not alone. No, I'm not alone. No, I'm not alone. You can go home. You can go home.
Peace, bitches.
And bigger than ecstasy, and bigger than tech. I wanna be bigger than Jesus, and bigger than wrestling, bigger than the Beatles, and bigger than breast implants. I'm gonna be the biggest thing to hit these little kids. Bigger than guns, bigger than cigarettes.
Of human